All righty. Hey, everybody. How you doing out there? Hope you guys have had a great lunch. I'm actually nice and full. Oh, excuse
That
me.
picture you took is creepy.
What's that?
The thumbnail's creepy.
The thumbnail's creepy?
Yeah.
Clayton says my thumbnail's creepy. I was shooting for a little bit of creepiness on the thumbnail, or just awkward weirdness, so that worked out. Victory. Welcome to Job Hunt Live Wednesday. And I hope you guys had a great lunch, number one. I hope you guys are having a great Wednesday. We're pretty much towards the end of the Wednesday here today. We're getting close, and a couple days left in the week, you guys. So keep putting in the work. I hope you guys have been learning a lot of stuff with the work-related topics. I hope you have, because there's going to be 10 straight questions of work-related topics on the trivia this weekend. All right, 10 straight. Bonus question will be double. It'll be about this conversation. Oh, no. So hey guys, one of the things we all come across is some of us maybe, whether we want to change a job or whether we're going into our first job, we have various things that might hold us back, might concern us. We just might not be too sure of ourselves and things like that. And so I'd like to kind of explore ways that we can cope with the challenges and thrive so we can eventually get ourselves to be a part of that workforce. And so today's articles are challenges in the workplace, and it's for those specifically if you have a disability. Once again, this doesn't have to apply to just those with a disability. This applies to just about everybody, okay? Going into a work field when you first start, there's a lot of things in our mind that'll tell us why we might not want to pursue work, or why, we can't do a job. And a lot of those things are just things that we need to talk about, get out there, and a lot of repetition and some of these things can help you learn how to cope with the challenges and thrive with them. So today, I'd like to go ahead and bring my first guest up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask, I specifically requested a lot of folks who don't have work, because I'm kind of curious, what are some of the reasons maybe we're not going to find work? Maybe we don't feel ready, maybe we're anxious, there's all kinds of things that could come into play. And so I'd kind of like to talk about these things, and we can go over some of the things that we can do to cope with the challenges and thrive. So first up today, we're going to go ahead and get Blaine up here. Come on up, Blaine. Go right here, buddy. I can't see you over there. Okay. Blaine, how you doing,
Hey,
sir?
Zach, how are you?
I'm good.
Oh,
Good to
man.
see you. So Blaine, I know you're currently not employed.
Yeah.
And I know you and I haven't really sat down and discussed much employment. What is something when you think about employment, and I'm not saying you don't want a job, I'm saying what is something though that you think about that concerns you, or you might not feel comfortable about going into the work field?
Kind of nervous.
Nervous, nervous. Nervous is definitely. And what are some of the, without being too personal, because I don't want to know, I don't want you to spill it all out there, but what's something that makes you nervous?
Nervous means that I'm a little scared.
Little scared. That's okay. That's okay. It's okay to say that out loud.
Yeah.
All right. I'm scared of change too. Okay, and I've gone through a lot of changes. All right,
Right.
and I'm still scared of them. So
Yeah.
it's okay to be scared. Blaine, that's actually not uncommon for anybody. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not just somebody with a disability. That's anybody. And a lot of times that scared is, it can fall under like the lack of confidence and anxiety.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of times that self-doubt can keep us from pursuing new opportunities. And so I think, a lot of it is just telling yourself and getting out there and putting yourself out there like you're doing with the volunteer. Like,
yes.
So, when you go and volunteer, do you feel scared when you're volunteering?
It depends.
It depends. Okay. What's it depend on?
Means that we're gonna do something hard.
Oh, okay, so if it's something different,
Yeah.
now if it's something the same, how do you feel if it's the same? Do you feel scared?
No, I get used to
Because
it.
you're used to it, you're comfortable with it, right?
Yeah.
And so those new things, those unknown things, right?
Yeah.
So you have found that repetition and doing something over and over again, right?
Yeah.
Seems like you get less scared after you've done that.
Yes.
Nice, well, very nice. So you're on your way.
Yeah.
So just continue working that way, man. You're doing a great job, okay?
Exactly.
And next time you find yourself a little bit scared, remember, there's always a first, and then after that, it becomes the second time you did it, and the third time. And you just mentioned to me, the longer you do it,
Yeah.
the more comfortable you get. So,
Yeah.
awesome, good job, man.
Thank you, Zach.
Thanks, Blaine.
You're welcome, sir.
I guess Sergio's coming on up. Hey, Sergio.
Hi.
Hi, sir. Just one at a time, guys. Grab a seat over here. So, Sergio, based off the subject, I know currently you're not working. I know you've shown some interest in some online work with the Discord. But what is something that it's something that you have in your mind that maybe you think has kept you from going out there and really searching for work? Like something, inside you, not exterior. Because sometimes we do have things out that might hold us back, family sometimes, or maybe transportation is a concern. What is something that you think, why haven't you jumped in my office and said, Zach, I want to be a cook at a restaurant, let's go for it?
Bad self-esteem.
Bad self-esteem. And do you carry that self-esteem? So you have self-confidence issues, And so a lot of times, Sergio, with those, it's really just getting out there and continuing to do it, buddy. All right? And what you should do is you should understand, your strengths. 'Cause that's one thing you should do. You should list your strengths. Stay active, right? Get good night's sleep. All those things are good for our brains, and they help us when we're feeling that low self-esteem or that lack of confidence. When we have energy in our brains and we're eating properly and we're thinking about the positive stuff, a lot of that can carry over into the way we feel about going into a situation, right?
Yeah.
So, what is something that you do? Do you have anything that you do to help you with your self-esteem?
No.
No? Well, you're pretty awesome at all your sports stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, that's pretty good. So do you think you could probably be pretty awesome at almost whatever you decided you chose to do?
Yeah.
I think you could. As long as you put forward that same effort, I think, that you do in your sports and everything you do, you can overcome. Self-confidence, you guys, is one of the greatest things you can have. Self-confidence is really important. There's a point where it can be a little bit too much, but it really takes you a long ways. And self-confidence is important. Self-confidence will get you over a lot of humps and it'll get you through situations. Sergio, I know that's not easy to come up here and say something that's holding you back. I appreciate you coming up here. Low self-esteem, low self-confidence is a big one for a lot of us. I still have sometimes low self-confidence when I have things put on my plate that's different or new. And, I have to then think, okay, what are my strengths? What can I do? And then, ask questions too. That's another thing. A lot of times, ask questions. Sergio? Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I really do. I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate you coming on up here. Mr. Man right here, come on up. Here we go. We got this gentleman. He's going to join us today. How you doing? Oh, come on. Let's handshake that. Yeah, there we go. Can one of you guys get that door, please? So, I know right now you're sort of on the look for a job and you're kind of getting out there. What's something that you worry about a little bit as, from an inside, yourself? What's something that you worry about as you're going into this search for work?
Because if I don't find an easy job, I might have like a difficult time.
Oh, okay. So you're set on something easy because discomfort for you, right? So you feel like something easier will be more comforting for you, and that is a tough one. It's tough to break down that mentality that you've got. And a lot of that has to do with your lack of confidence, a little anxiety. But the beautiful thing is in any workplace, there is a such thing as, number one, it's okay, accept who you are, right? Right, no matter who you are, I don't care. It doesn't have to be about disabilities or not. Accept who you are, accept what your limitations might be, and then work with your strengths, right? So I think there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes be inspired. According to this thing here, sometimes do you ever watch or read stories about other folks with disabilities in the workplace?
No.
It's very much recommended. I know I like reading books in general, but sometimes reading somebody else's story, can give us confidence. It's like, oh, I can do it too. That guy's doing it or that gal's doing it. I can do it too. And also too, in a work field, there are assistive technologies that are open for anybody with disabilities, whether you became disabled, on the job site, or you were born with a disability. But there's a lot of accommodations that can be done, and a list of those accommodations. Actually, here's a list of it, and they are reasonable accommodations. You guys always remember that it is reasonable accommodations. If you have mobility issues, for example, and I know you don't, but if you did, you could ask for reserved parking for people with mobility issues. If you cannot see very well, braille materials to accommodate the workers who are blind, flexible start and end times, noise canceling devices to minimize auditory distractions. We also have altered office layout to accommodate wheelchairs or other assistive devices, videos with captions or visual aids to accommodate difficulty hearing, written step-by-step instructions to accommodate people with memory issues, and then one-on-one meetings for workers with learning disabilities or anxieties. So these are all things in a workplace that you can talk to an employer as you're going through the job search. Some people, now remember, it's always by choice if you want to admit, not admit, but if you want to raise awareness to your disability. All right, remember, that's always your choice. It's asked a lot on the applications these days, and it is your choice. But remember, in saying yes, you are also opening that door to be able to ask for these kinds of accommodations. So we got to find some stuff to get you working on that self-confidence and get you moving, right? Because I bet you could do more of the easy stuff, but you just want to start comfortable. Yeah, I get it. Well, thank you, sir, for coming up here and being honest. It's never easy to admit these things, and thank you, man. I appreciate it. Next up, I've got the gentleman right here, Gabe. Come on up. Gabe, thank you. So, Gabe, I've never heard you once come in my office and ask me about work.
No.
What? Why?
I don't know. I guess I'm shy.
Shy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But, okay, now I gotta ask you this. Do you talk to your friends a lot?
Yes.
Okay. That's cool. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So, what makes you feel shy when it comes to discussing the employment part? 'Cause I know with friends, you guys are comfortable. You're talking about things you guys like. What do you think when you walk by my office?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but when you're shy and you don't want to, what do you think brings that up?
I don't know like the right words to say.
The right words to say or how to approach it. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. No, that's very good.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes just being able or feeling like they can communicate. You guys, I want you all to know, and Gabe as well, you can come talk to me about anything, honestly, for the most part. you know, if you have any fears or any concerns, you can discuss those with me. You can discuss those with any of the instructors here. You know, feel safe to be able to do that, all right? If you're shy, in Gabe's case, if you need to have somebody come in with you, just to be your kind of right-hand man, you know, to help alleviate that shyness, definitely bring somebody with you, Gabe. I mean, if that's what it is. And now, remember here, I'm not forcing anybody to overcome this right now. I just want to point these things out. If it's something that we are, and you think about it, and you're wondering why, you know, you don't have to run to my office tomorrow, but I just want you guys to, you know, sometimes our self-awareness for our things is very important, and self-awareness of what our weaknesses are, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes knowing what our weaknesses helps us improve those, and knowing our strength, of course, is also very important. Gabe, thank you very much. I think you did pretty good.
Yeah.
You weren't too shy in front of the camera.
Yeah.
I think you can come in my office
Yes.
sometime.
Yeah.
All right? So maybe I'll help you out with that shyness, all right?
Yeah. Hey, you're.
Come on up, Gary.
Heck yeah.
Hey, Gary, how are you, sir?
Good, Steve.
Since my name is Zach, we'll get back to this. Bad timing, sir.
You know, I've been calling you it less lately.
I know, but bad timing.
Sorry.
So what's something that holds you back at times? You came in my office a lot, but you had certain things that you kind of, you had some things that you wanted to work around. What are some things that kind of, you know, concern you maybe, or do you have concerns?
Well, for one, like putting a time limit on stuff. I want to do pro MMA by the time I'm 23 in 7 months.
Okay, but what about work?
Oh, you meant work-wise.
That's what we've been talking about the whole time.
Right, I know, but, right. Well, one thing that was holding me back was, well, not really holding me back, but something I had to work around. Like, I didn't drive. Like, I had to find a place that's nearby that I could bike to or run.
That's, you know what? I will tell you, it's not on here, but Gary brings up a very good point. I know that's a big concern for a lot of folks. Anybody who doesn't drive, or you have to rely on public transportation or various things like that, and those can create limitations when going out to look for work. So you bring up a great point. Sometimes we feel enclosed because of our transportation. Now, with all that said, there are a lot of forms of transportation, right? And for a lot of us, those are very possible options. So sometimes looking into all of our options first can maybe take away that concern.
Right.
So, but, you know, like I said, once again, it's just sitting down and researching it, thinking about it, and asking the right questions, right? So, good job. Thanks, Gary. Thanks for bringing that up. That's a good point. It wasn't on here, but it's a very, very good point. I know that's a concern. Thank you, Gary.
Do I go back to my group now?
Yes, you do, sir. All right, and next I have Jacquez coming on up.
See ya.
Jacquez, see you later. So, Jacquez, you help out around here quite a bit with various things, vacuuming and cleaning and
I
various
do that with 2 o'clock.
What's that?
I do that with 2 o'clock.
At 2 o'clock, yeah.
Mhm.
Now, when it comes to looking for a job, I know you've talked about wanting to work before.
Yeah, I talked to you that.
You told me a
Yeah.
couple times. What's one of the things that you think worries you about going and getting work?
Just nervous.
Nervous, just nervous?
Yeah.
You know what, that's okay. That's okay, Jacquez. A lot of us are nervous,
Yeah.
all right? Do you feel at times like, man, what if I start that job? Am I gonna be able to do it? You ever feel that way? I feel that way sometimes.
Yeah, I gotta. So.
Yeah, no, I get it. I feel that way sometimes. I feel like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna start this job right now. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm nervous about it.
And I do because I want to work like a cashier, but I know how to count.
Oh.
Money, 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4, 5, 5, 6.
But you've been working very hard on your counseling.
With Emily, we did this a long time ago when COVID shut down.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
so you've been taking active steps to work on your weaknesses, right? And turning those into strengths,
Yeah.
okay? So I think that's, hey,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's very good that you've been turning that. So you've acknowledged something that you wanna do, and now
Yeah.
you're gonna do for strengths.
Yeah, and I did like the coin, see I know how to count change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Yeah.
12, 13, 14, 15,
Got it, man, look at you.
20. And I know what 10 cent, 50 cent, nickel, a dime, a quarter, a nickel, a dime.
And when you first started here, did you know what any of that was?
No, and I do now.
You're the man, dude, seriously. So guys,
Yeah.
seriously, Jacquez is a very good example here, and I'm gonna put him on a little bit of a pedestal here. He's a very good example of what you can do when you work hard and you take something that, you know, maybe we weren't very good at first, or we just didn't get whatever, the best training for it. And you know what, here he is, he's getting excellent training. Shout out to, I know Emily works with him quite a bit, started this
Long time.
a long time.
I do
and-
now count.
And now he knows how.
$100 bills.
And look at your smile.
20.
Look at your smile now.
Yeah.
You used to be nervous and shy, but now
Not
you,
anymore.
now you count with confidence.
Yeah.
That's confidence, you guys.
Mhm.
All right, Jacques, thank you.
Thank you, Zach.
Yeah, well, thank you.
5.
Let's
see
scoot on over here. How you doing?
Good.
I'm doing good, thank you, thank you. So, you've kind of been out there a little bit and looked for work, and you've done some work before, right? And what's one of the things that you worry about, like when you go into the workplace for the first time, or even, maybe even just to start looking for a job?
Customer service,
Customer service, and what is it about customer service that you worry about?
just that I'm serving them correctly, the right way.
Yeah, oh, okay, so, very good, it's a very good question. I do know, that I think, sometimes in that case, did you feel like, you weren't maybe like, loud enough, or were you too quiet, or were you shy?
Yeah, just a little too shy.
Too shy, you know, repetition. I tell a lot of folks on here, I used to never talk like this. I never did. I didn't talk in front of a class, in front of a group. I didn't talk ever. And I just kept doing it and kept doing it and kept practicing it. And it doesn't take away the nervousness. I still get nervous sitting here, but it does help out. And then 2 is, sounds like when you were doing the customer service, it sounds like once in a while you just need sometimes your boss to come up and say, hey, great job.
Some encouragement.
Some encouragement, very much so, I think, and I think that would be very helpful. And considering, you know, to be honest with you, one of the things we can do for you here is we can help out with customer service and really practice that over and over again. You know, the practice never takes away the nerves, but it can make it a little bit easier and a little bit more familiar, so that can always definitely help out.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, no, thank you. Thank you for coming out. No, it's not easy, you guys. I mean, like I said, we all have certain things that we feel like hold us back. And I'm sorry, I was just looking at the time, guys. That can hold us back, and I think that's. I think it's important for us to be aware of those things. What is holding us back? What is one of the concerns we have? Are we addressing it, right? That's what we're here to do here at Program. We're here to address those things so we can work on them, like Jacques with his counting. So some of the things that come up, anxiety, lack of self-confidence, difficulty adapting to new limitations. If you've been free and kind of doing your own thing for a long time, all of a sudden you're in a job and you've got to get up at 8 o'clock and you got to get off at 5 o'clock, or you got to get up at 3, you got to go to work at 3 p.m. one day and the next day you got to go at 2 p.m. and you have different uniforms and rules. And sometimes those limitations can you know, that's what it is. Difficulty finding new job opportunities. You guys, that's why I'm here. I'm here to help you find those new job opportunities, all right? And then also, too, other instructors and other, you know, we're all here to help you out. It's not just me, all right? Physical barriers. I mean, sometimes we're concerned about, can we physically do the job? Do we have the skills? I know Elijah was a little worried about it, it's gotta be an easy job. Have a little more self-confidence, you can get out there, I'm sure you can do just about anything once you start learning, right? The inflexible work pattern, the strict hours policy. You really can't come and go as you want, right? Like programs, some of you guys come in at 8 o'clock or 8:30, you leave at lunch. Well, work's not like that, you might have to come in at 3 and work till 10. And then, of course, this can also hurt anybody, attitudes of coworkers or the management, and that can affect anybody. All these things can affect anybody. Some ways to cope with this, all right? Build your self-confidence, number one. Accept your disability or accept whatever weaknesses you might have. It's okay, accept those. There's a book, it's called Living Well with a Disability. It's recommended here. Read stories about people with the same disability as you. Learn how to manage your stress levels. It states here 7 to 9 quality hours of sleep. Enjoying hobbies and socializing with friends and family. Eat nutritious, the best to your ability. And practice relaxation techniques. Understand your disability. It can be empowering, you guys. Learn as much as you can about it. All right? Because that empowers you. And embrace assistive devices. If you need that extra help, embrace it. It's not a weakness. It's not a weakness at all. That's what they're there for. Obviously, listen your strengths. Stay active as well. Being active is a good way to manage stress and help you out. That one I didn't care for very much right there. This one, though, I do like. One thing is when you do, and if you do ever have to speak to an employer about accommodations, one thing I want to bring up is, number one, when we're filling out the applications, you do want to make sure that we identify our disability in the application. And then as we start the job, if we find that there's anything that might help us, that can be unreasonable. Like I said, reasonable isn't, bringing in something to, lift me up 10 feet. I mean, that's not a reasonable accommodation. But pick the right time to talk to your boss about that as well, right? Timing is everything, okay? Don't go just run in and catch your boss when they're in the middle of something. Remember, we talked about that a little bit on how to address somebody and go into a meeting. You don't want to just blow them up, okay? Also, too, stay focused. Be specific about how the accommodation can best help you work, all right? So, don't just walk in with no idea what you need. Let's have an idea of what you need and go in and be very specific on what your need is and explain why it's going to be able to help you do a better job there. Because, they're not just going to get you some new toy, so to speak, to play with, right? And make sure you get the agreement in writing. A lot of times bosses will say stuff, all right? They will. Get it in writing. Seriously, it says it right here. And know who to talk to. A lot of times that would be human resources, your supervisor, or human resources. And guys, come to program and interact in a lot of our trainings. A lot of interacting in your trainings and being vocal and being a part of the role plays and going over the mock interviews over and over again. I know sometimes it sounds redundant, but that is how we practice. And like I said, we don't take away all the nervousness, but it can alleviate some of the nervousness. And self-confidence, you guys, that is so important. And everybody here deserves to feel confident about themselves. And if you're having an issue with that, let somebody know and let's find things. Let's start praising those, complimenting and praising those great qualities that we all have as people, so we can gain that self-confidence. Because I'm going to tell you, once you get that self-confidence, you really can do a lot more than you think. I've not seen, if I were to bring in my folks who are currently employed, their self-confidence levels are up. And a lot of that is just simply because they put their foot down and they went after something and they got it, and they feel very good about themselves for doing so. And I know that can happen to almost everybody else out there. I appreciate your guys' time today. I'm gonna go a little shorter today than I did the other day because I went a little longer last week, but definitely enjoy your time. Like I said, once again, this doesn't have to relate just to disabilities. This can relate to just about anything though, except for the reasonable accommodations. But even that, people can always still ask about those kinds of things. Guys, if you're feeling worried, you're feeling nervous, you're feeling, like I said, the confidence, speak to somebody, let us know. Let us know that's what's going on, because we can work with that and we can help you guys gain the confidence to get out there, or at least start looking for employment. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys next Wednesday. I'm out of here. See ya. Bye-bye. Sorry I have to get up and turn the camera off, so you guys have to stare at me walking here. Bye. What happens? They come and they set this stuff up.